Welcome everyone to this week's ECONversations for Southwest Riverside County. I want to thank Scott Agajanian with the City of Murrieta, Gina Gonzales with the City of Menifee, Christine Damko with the City of Temecula, and Rob Moran with the County of Riverside for joining me today. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it over to Rob Moran. We're going to talk about regional collaboration. And I'll start off with Rob. Rob has been doing these alliance meetings and kind of getting everyone working together, and that has helped to kind of solidify how Southwest Riverside really works together in that. So Rob, why don't you kind of give us a little 10,000 foot level from a county perspective of what that looks like and how that kind of played into our region specifically.
Sure, and good afternoon, everybody. Nice to see you all. This region has a long history of collaboration and partnership and economic development. And, I can think back to the mid to late 90s. And I think, this is before even Menifee was a city, and Wildomar were cities, and they were unincorporated areas. And at the time, there's been chambers of commerce that have been involved, but there was also the Southwest, I think it was called the Southwest Riverside County Economic Development Corporation, if I remember correctly. And I'm giving you, like you said, the 10,000 foot version of it. And so we worked together years ago on business attraction and retention efforts going, working as an independent organization. And there also was an EDC, and the efforts were kind of divided at the time between business attraction and retention. If I remember correctly, the EDC did most of the retention work, and then the Southwest Riverside, which part of it kind of morphed into this Southwest Riverside County Economic Alliance, and then at one point was renamed the Southwest California Economic Alliance and rebranded. And so the two organizations sort of work cooperatively to attract businesses from the Economic Alliance standpoint and to retain businesses through the Economic Development Corporation. And, a few years later, I think the two organizations merged. So, these efforts morph and change over time, and that's not uncommon, where they become, part of a chamber, or they separate from a chamber, they become their own nonprofit. And, at one point, the person that was doing economic development was actually a county employee under contract with, the EDC and the communities, and we all partnered and pitched in together to fund the effort. And just so that, so for folks that are watching, kind of wondering what the difference was. So the business attraction was literally that. It was going out and promoting this region, the Southwest Riverside County region, or Southwest California, as it was called, and trying to attract and expose this region, or expose businesses to this region and the different assets and attributes that would make it attractive for them. So it was really bringing new business into the region. And then the business retention, of course, is, as it sounds, is keeping existing businesses here, helping them grow and expand if needed here in the Southwest Riverside County region. So long history, dating back, I started in the 90s, so it may have even been before that. But, long history of cooperation, and yeah, I know, all the gray hair. And I see some in Patrick's. Yeah, well, I might be joining you soon. And, I would say that there's probably, and I think I've said it recently, that there's probably been no time more so than now where all the cities and the county have cooperated from an economic development perspective, I think, better than we are today. And it's that cooperation, not just with the cities and the county, but also, like Patrick, with you and your organization and other organizations that are other chambers and so forth, that we're able to deliver these types of products and services. So I think it's just a great group of people to work with on a personal level, but it's the commitment, I think, on behalf of the cities and the county to work together and move this region forward. And that's sort of where we're at today, is that next iteration of it.
Yeah. And so let me jump in, Patrick, before you accidentally say something. And I just want to confirm for everybody, there's two definitions of collaboration, right? The first is where people or groups work together to create something. And the second is when you work with your enemies in traitorous cooperation. And so I just want to make sure we're all speaking on the same level here as to which one we're talking about.
I'm so glad I
something.
didn't interrupt you for that.
Yeah, well, it was important. I wanted to, because sometimes we get unclear as to which we don't want to equivocate here. So Rob is right, obviously, as he always is. I think we all work together. And then the question becomes, what do we want to create? And I think for this group, we're looking to create awareness for the region, awareness of the opportunities here. We're looking to create jobs. We're looking to see job growth here for the people who come to this area, looking for a good quality of life, but they want to find work here in the backyard. So obviously employment and awareness are really good. And then amenities. We want to fill out the community with really cool things to do and places to go. And I think between that, we work together very, very well in trying to partner on those kinds of opportunities. And one thing that I always try to convey, and I think all of us do by doing this, look at that, the Murrieta Cup right there. Thank you, Gina, for letting everybody know of your partnership with Murrieta and your love for the city of Murrieta. Is that we do work together more than any region that Rob's ever seen. And he oversees a lot of different cities in this county, but he's always said that there is no region that is better than Southwest Riverside County and no city greater to him than Murrieta. And so I think in that partnership, we found a way to really highlight the region, let people know about it, but also work together to create something. And that's what I think is really special about all this.
Thank you, Scott, for extrapolating on any kind of comments I would have ever made related to that and really customizing them.
Got to be clear with your words, my man. Gina, I know you had something to say about that. What are we trying to create?
Just happy to collaborate.
No, that's too cheap. You got to keep going.
I don't know what else to say that's not already been said, as far as the regionalism goes. But I was going to say, in addition, we also have a very active JPA in the region when it comes to foreign trade, investment, and just attracting new opportunities from abroad. So it goes beyond just Southwest Riverside County, but also I know that Temecula, I believe, like Elsinore and Murrieta, you guys are also part of the San Diego. So it's beyond just Riverside County regionalism, but it's also San Diego, Northern County regionalism as well, and tapping into that.
Regionalism, good word. Way to go, Gina. All right, Christine, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so, for us, an example of, working together is the city's $50 million federal grant that we got to build phase 2 of French Valley Parkway interchange, the freeway interchange. It took everyone's help, everyone on this screen, everyone's help to get that grant, which the freeway expansion, the freeway on-ramp expansion, actually, yes, on-ramp onto the freeway will help the region, but it took everyone's help to get that approved. And so we can just kind of go on and on about these regional task force that were created, the Cancer Resource Center Task Force, aimed at improving healthcare and bringing doctors. And the result of that is now we have, I call them interns, but I think there's a more specific name, the fellows, yeah, that are doctors, and they're here, they're at all our hospitals. And that was a result of, the Cancer Resource Task Force Center. So higher education is another huge collaboration, getting Cal State University San Marcos here. The city of Murrieta invested dollars, physical dollars to help with that. So, and the same with Mount San Jacinto College, the regional partnership with their multiple campuses. So we can definitely, as a region, point to specific projects and results and wins from working together. And I'm not sure if people realize how often we all talk. We talk very, very often, and it's we have a city hall team, they each have a team at City Hall or at the county. But I think we all can agree that we really feel like we are one team as well. You know, we're almost like coworkers, if you will.
You know, and Christine, I would add to everything you just said, it was very well said, that when you're talking about attracting a business or even retaining one in a region, you know, a lot of times, you know, we all focus on our boundaries, right? You know, our four walls that are the city or the county, but those regional assets that Christine was identifying, you know, when a business comes into a city, they don't hire only people from their city. They hire people from a greater region. It might even be from San Diego County or Orange County or who knows what. So it's not like this self-enclosed, you know, sort of biosphere where, you know, only the people that live within that bubble get to live, work there, and spend their money. It's part of this bigger ecosystem. And, you know, if you've got a university located in one city but the building site, you know, obviously those things all work together, you know, higher education, labor force, again, that are much broader than just the one location. Now they may be getting a permit or some specific assistance from a city because it's located within those boundaries, but it's those kind of regional issues that impact those site selection decisions that go well beyond city boundaries in many cases. So it's important to note that working together kind of in a broad collaborative like that it really is just common sense. And then even from a bigger picture is, where does this region fit within, you know, the international marketplace, the Southern California marketplace, you know, the 5 counties, where do we all fit in? Because, you know, it's a highly competitive environment and in the world of economic development and business attraction. And, you know, like it or not, you know, we've got to fight for those and promote, you know, in competition with other regions that are promoting. And there are also a lot of great locations where business can locate. They just have to find that right fit. You know, I always joke around, if you ever look at the, you know, the advertisements for economic development locations, and you can see them in just some of the site selection magazines, every location is a wonderful place to live, work, and play. No one ever says, you know, we're really cheap, but we're kind of a lousy location with nothing to do, but we're cheap. You know, everybody says we're a wonderful place to live, work, and play. And, you know, I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but the point I'm making is that there's a lot of great places to locate. We obviously believe and you know, sell our region for a lot of obvious benefits, but you kind of have to be out there and competitive and working together. And I think that's the key, is just working together.
I have not heard an explanation of a symbiont circle better than that since the Phantom Menace. And
that was pretty circular, wasn't it?
It was no, it wasn't solipsistic. It was very well discussed, and I was impressed with it. And what it comes down to is Murrieta benefits from the name recognition of Temecula, for example. We also benefit from the population growth of Menifee, and hopefully somewhere in there, some of the features and assets that we have benefit both of your cities. And I think it really nails to Rob's point, which is none of this is done in a vacuum. This is all done in partnership, because not only does it benefit us, but also because I think we really enjoy doing it. I think there's really a case of all of us are trying to achieve something here, which is to make this region self-sustaining, not necessarily dependent on other, you know, for a long time, this region was just built upon being a good commuter choice. That can't be the answer forever. This has to be a region that gives you all the opportunities here. I don't want to say the word live, work, or play because it's been demonized in the past, but I will say that you want to give people the opportunity to work at home and create a good quality of life for yourself. Gina, you look like you had some brilliant insight to add to that.
I was totally already in the marketing side of things with Rob, to your point with site selection, and you're right. Everyone says the same thing, but I was like, you know, the one thing that's in our region that's different is, do they have wine? But do they have wine?
Nope.
You're talking about the unincorporated community of wine country? Is that what you're
In Riverside County?
in Riverside County?
Ouch.
Yes, it's our back road, just like Murrieta as well. But do they have wine?
Well, and, you know, Scott brought up a good point. You know, again, it's that regionalism. You've got folks that, you know, if they're coming down for the day to go to Lake Elsinore to visit the lake and, you know, some of their dream extreme, you know, activities, you know, they probably have wine country in Old Town Temecula or Murrieta or any combination that you can think of it. And that's just, sort of a tourism sort of thought. But all those things are probably top of mind as they're coming down here saying, maybe I can, join those things together and do a couple things when I'm down there. And that's sort of the whole point, really. And you can apply that to not just, a tourist perspective or a tourism perspective, but it's about just the whole economy. So if I locate in Lake Elsinore, I'm going to probably have people from Menifee and Murrieta and Temecula working there, and vice versa. And that's exactly what you want.
The one thing I'll say is to kind of tap onto what Christine was saying is and it goes right in with that, Rob, is that there's two things that this region has done very, very well that play into both the tourism side, but the economic development side of it critically. But I think sometimes gets overlooked, and they go hand in hand. One is the public safety. The 5 cities down here, 5 of the safest cities in all of the state, if not the nation. That's a huge aspect, and businesses take a huge look at that when they're looking to open their business, because if they can't be in a safe community, they're going to look at a different area. The other aspect, and I think even probably the cream of the crop when it comes to the collaboration in the cities, is the homeless task force. The homeless task force, which was a huge issue, has been addressed so well on a regional basis, and makes such a difference when it comes to business, whether it's tourism, whether it's retail, manufacturing, whatever it is. Huge aspect. But the 5 cities working together on that homeless task force, I know now is like a blueprint that other areas across the country are starting to look at.
Correct.
Yeah, and Christine, I thought you were going to jump in because I tried to keep Patrick out of it, and then I waited, and he jumped in really quick and stole the corner there. But I think Christine started with a really good list of all the different ways we're collaborating, and it really is never ending. It's everything from the EDA and the affiliation we have there, but the EDC, it's into our chambers of commerce, it's the homeless task force, but it's also, look, we're working on that joint, not only the JPA for the animal control, we're working on right now the task force to start an investment group, and every single city jumped right in. There's no limit to the ways that we can partner together, and there's no time where we need support from another city. For when we were working on our grant for our innovation center, every city and county here supported us and was immediate with a letter of support. And the same, of course, went for City of Temecula when they were working on theirs. This goes round and round. All of us are here to try to help, because there's no point in time where something good in Temecula or Menifee or within the county boundaries where they have the wonderful wine country, that it doesn't benefit our city and it doesn't benefit our residents. If something bad were to happen in Murrieta, the effects would be felt in the other cities. And if something like, a big super player like Abbott were to close in Temecula, it would be just deleterious to the city of Murrieta. We all have to work together on those things because it's important to all of our residents. So it really does run beyond any level of explanation we can give how much we work together in different facets. Except for the cities who didn't show up today, they don't participate.
Don't worry, Patrick's got them covered.
It's not fair.
I was also going to say, yes, Scott, there's also remember the broadcasting, working on bringing a local news broadcast.
That's right. We and every single city jumped in and was supportive of that. Absolutely. There's so much that literally you can't remember unless you have it all written down before you start one of these things. It's all.
Exactly.
Live at 11, Scott Agajanian.
You imagine?
That would be a terrible show.
Yeah, that would be scary. Yeah,
but entertaining.
It's bad enough at 5 o'clock. Wait till 11. So, well, I think that is a perfect way to end this edition of the Southwest Riverside County Economic Development ECONversations. I want to thank you all for joining us again. Thank you all for participating. I think that this is a perfect example of why everyone should be looking at Southwest Riverside County for expansion of their business. And yes, Snoopy agrees.
Yes. I just thought maybe you guys would throw some other Peanuts characters in here, Heather, Estrada, wherever you are.
Well, thank you again, everyone. Appreciate your time. Join us again next time on the ECONversations Podcast.